Hello, everyone. This is Reddit 9 to 5, and I'm bringing you an episode from Am I the Butthole? On to the first story. Am I the butthole for causing my husband to miss his brother's wedding by having him fix a toilet? By a throwaway account. To start, me and my husband's brother, aka my brother in law, have always been on bad terms. We don't see each other much, and we're not really mean to each other, but more like we don't like each other. My brother in law was getting married this past week. He only invited my husband, which is fine, really, because I wasn't planning on attending this wedding. Really, no big deal. The day of the wedding, my husband couldn't take the day off, but came home early to get ready to go to the wedding, which is 3 hours away. The toilet stopped working and needed to be fixed. I'm 7 months pregnant, and I frequent the bathroom many times a day. I asked my husband for 5 minutes to look at the toilet, and he suggested he'd fix it when he gets back. But the smell of unflushed pee gets me nauseous. So I tried to convince him to at least try and get it to work. He took a look and said it needed fixing, which would take 10 to 15 minutes. I asked him to do it even though he refused, but he did it anyway. He took long and didn't pay attention to time. He freaked out, saying he should be driving at the time, but I insisted he finished fixing the last part, and he barely did. He was mad and got dressed quickly and left. Turns out that he arrived late and missed the ceremony and made it to the last part of the wedding. He was mad at me for causing him to miss a huge part of his brother's wedding and said his brother was upset and disappointed he wasn't there to support him. He argued, saying that I made him late only because I couldn't go to the wedding, but I said that it's not true because if he had sent an invitation, I would have declined to come. He then said it must be because I hate his brother, and what I did was a petty attempt to make me miss his wedding, especially since I could have waited till he got back to fix the toilet. He's still mad at me for missing the wedding till this day. OP, why was the toilet getting fixed so important to you here? Also, why was it so important for your husband to fix it? You could have just hired a freaking plumber. You know why? Because a plumber doesn't have to worry about missing his own brother's wedding, and your toilet would be in much better shape anyway. You're being so callous to your husband here, and it makes perfect sense why his brother doesn't like you. Because frankly, you're a disgusting human being. I'm giving you 4 out of 5 buttholes here. You ruined a once in a lifetime event for your husband, and for something so stupid as a broken toilet. I'm giving your husband and his brother 0 out of 5 buttholes. And on to the second story. Am I the butthole for moving my baby brother's bed to my parents and locking the door? By Throw RA Red Unsure. My parents had me, a 16-year-old male, kinda young, and just last year they decided to have another baby. My brother Leo is 2 months old. I love him, but he cries nonstop every night. My dad and his friends are doing some renovations to the bedroom downstairs, which was supposed to be Leo's room, but some stuff came up and it is delayed now. They told me for a little while that Leo is going to be in my room because his dad needs to get up early for work and can't sleep if my brother is in their room. It's been annoying AF. Leo cries, it takes my mom time to get to my room, and then she turns on the lamp in my room, and it takes half an hour sometimes for her to get him back to sleep. I really hate it. I've kept talking to them about when his room is going to be ready. My parents say it's going to be a while, but they still say no, he can't be in the room with them. Monday night, I got real annoyed because my mom was knocked out, so I had to get up, change his diaper at like 3 in the morning. When it was nighttime, I moved his crib to their room and told them that I'm tired of hearing him cry all the time in my room. My mom started telling me stuff, then my dad too when I got home. But I locked my door from inside. They gave up and said fine, if that's what I want, they kept my brother in their room. My dad was pissed the next day when he got home because I'm sure Leo woke him up whenever my mom needed to do something. Actually, they both look really mad at me. Then my mom told me I acted real unfair to them, and we're a family who handles stuff together. So she doesn't think that it's right that I'm not trying to help them a little here with my brother. So yeah, she does think I'm a butthole for that, since Leo being in my room means my dad doesn't have to wake up every time my mom needs to feed him or whatever, and he is the one who also provides for us. Am I the butthole? Not the butthole, OP. Your parents are being total hypocrites here. They chose to have another baby. They chose not to finish renovating the bedroom your brother was going to sleep in, so how can they get mad when you don't like listening to the crying baby either, especially when you had no choice in the matter? As parents, they are responsible for looking after their kid, not you. I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes, OP, and I'm giving your parents 2 out of 5 buttholes for being lazy hypocrites. And on to the third story. Am I the butthole for getting my brother in law a book about narcissism for his birthday? By HomeGuest3597. Hear me out, please. I, a 36-year-old male, don't get along with my brother in law, who's a 30-year-old male, my sister's husband, for several reasons. He's a brutally honest guy who says what's on his mind without hesitation. My sister and I grew up very close, and we still are, but her husband clearly doesn't like it. Hell, he even accused me of being in love with her, and his logic is that I helped take care of her nephews. So, in his rational mind, the fact that I enjoy helping take care of my nephews means I'm in love with her mother? Go figure. He also used to joke about mine and my wife's infertility with comments like, "Are you guys pregnant yet? You guys are pushing 40. You gotta hurry up and make some grandchildren." Or my favorite, "Maybe you guys can't have kids because you're both men?" It's insulting, but the family says he's like that with everyone, so it's not personal. Whenever my wife and I had a celebration, say a birthday or an anniversary, my brother-in-law would use it as a chance to talk about his kids getting an A plus or winning a game, or even talk about an ultrasound appointment and turn it into his celebration. You could see how frustrating that is. I've kept my distance, but I see my sister and nephews regularly. Days ago was my brother-in-law's 30th birthday. He called me saying he wanted me there to share his joy with the family. I apologized and said no, but he kept pressuring me, saying he had a surprise for me and my wife. I knew he was up to no good, probably some brutal honesty. He said, "Don't forget my gift." I was lost thinking of what I should give him based on his behavior for the past year. The family was there, and my brother in law already started asking if my wife and I had something to announce. My wife and I froze, and then he said, "Ha ha ha, that's what I thought." My wife got upset and left early. When it was time for gift opening, I gave him the gift I bought, and once he opened it, he was shocked. The gift was a book about narcissism called "Why Is It Always About You?" He looked at me shocked, and I said, "It's a good read, trust me." Everyone kept staring, and he got so upset and stormed off to the bedroom. My sister followed, and I heard him yell into the bathroom. I said, "Well, I better go." But my parents went off on me, calling me disrespectful, mean, and rude for this tasteless, insulting gift. I tried to point out that this was the outcome of how he's been treating me and my wife, who left earlier, and they didn't even notice her. They kept arguing, saying he was just teasing us, and that I was out of line to call him a narcissist, and then I left. Mom kept calling to say I messed up and ruined the man's birthday, and should apologize to him profusely, or not be surprised if I can't see my sister or nephews again, which made me upset because I adore my nephews so much. It's been days, and things have been tense between us. I miss my nephews, and I'm thinking of apologizing for what I did. Wow. So, first off, your brother in law is a total douchebag. He sounds like the poster child for narcissism, and his brutal honesty is just his excuse for being a bully to everyone around him. Then there's your parents. They should be completely aware of how your brother in law is treating you, as, like you said, they were right there when your brother in law put down your wife. The fact that they didn't say a goddamn word about it, but bee and moan to you when you hit back with the most tepid of criticisms says they are enabling his behavior and are just as at fault for it. I'm giving you and your wife 0 out of 5 buttholes, OP. I'm giving your brother-in-law 3.5 out of 5 buttholes, and I'm giving your parents 4 out of 5 buttholes. If anything, your brother-in-law and parents need to have a conversation with you, and they should be apologizing to you for all the abuse that you have suffered at the hands of your brother-in-law, not the other way around. And on to the last story. Am I the butthole for not accommodating my brother's vegan fiancée? By I Tried Okay 123. Full disclosure, I do eat meat, eggs, and dairy. That being said, I'm lazy and prepping and cooking meat takes more work than I'm willing to do a lot of the time. So I've built up a pretty okay repertoire of vegetarian and vegan meals. That's why I volunteered to cook last night for my small family dinner, even though I would normally never do so. I love my mom to bits, but if the first step isn't browning a pound of ground beef, she's a little lost on what to make. This is all a thing because my brother has recently gotten engaged to a vegan woman. None of us have really spent a lot of time with her due to the pandemic and generally having our own lives. The time I spent with her has been perfectly nice, and I thought this would be perfectly nice. So I did my best. I put together a Dijon vinaigrette salad, pasta tossed with roasted asparagus, and cherry tomatoes. Because this is America, where carb on carb doesn't have to be just a dream, some bread I freaking vetted to make sure it didn't have any milk or eggs in it. She could eat every single thing served. At least I thought so. We sit down, plates are dished, and she has questions. Whatever, fair enough. I can imagine she's been in situations where things seemed safe to eat, but surprise, there's honey in the salad dressing or something. Reassurances were made, I did my homework, but she has other complaints. You roasted the veggies in olive oil? There's olive oil in the salad dressing? The pasta isn't whole wheat? This is white bread? Yes, vegan, all of it, but not stripped down to as few calories as possible. And now she won't eat. Just sat there and tore one of the rolls up into tiny pieces until the table was cleared. My brother texted me later that night about how effed up it was that she had to go home hungry. And this is where I may be the butthole. I replied something to the effect of saying, I thought I had to cook to accommodate veganism, not an eating disorder. He told me to go F myself, which again, fair. Now, I imagine a Cold War is brewing and my mom is inevitably going to get sucked in. I also could have tried to make something healthier, though I don't think what I served was that bad. Am I the butthole? I think this comment from Seven Deadly Frenchmen says exactly what I was thinking. OP, you're really selling yourself short with the title of this thread. You did accommodate your brother's partner's vegan dietary restrictions. Everything you served was vegan. Literally, what more could you have done? This is super accommodating and you are a great host. You didn't just make vegan dishes. The vegan wasn't excluded from any single dish. That's fantastic and extra level inclusive. You didn't accommodate additional dietary preferences you didn't know existed. How could you have possibly done so? Absolutely not the butthole. And that's it for this episode of Am I the Butthole? If you like this content, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Also, I have a podcast. If you want to support me, please hit one of the links down below in the description, and you can watch every single episode I've uploaded to the podcast, all in podcast form. See you later.